Welcome to another edition of Life Outdoors. I'm your host, Chris Reckling. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Life Outdoors is sponsored by Ocracoke Tourism Development Authority, Ocracoke, miles from the mainstream. Today's edition, we're going to talk about the beautiful city of Norfolk and what keeps it beautiful. If you know anything about the city of Norfolk, it is an old city surrounded with old trees, and it is beautiful. And nobody knows that better than Stephen Traylor. He is a certified arborist with the city of Norfolk. Stephen, welcome to Life Outdoors.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay, so we're talking about certified arborist with the city of Norfolk. First of all, how did you get started in being an arborist? Like, where was that seed planted?
So the seed was probably planted when I was studying, even farther back when I was a kid growing up on the north side of Richmond, playing in the woods, climbing white oak trees. Around my family's property in the woods around those properties. I loved being outdoors and running through the woods, making trails, riding bikes, doing all those great things that we hope that kids get to do. So then I moved on to Virginia Tech, where I studied forestry, and ended up moving into the arboriculture world after college and doing the urban forestry world.
But before you moved to the city of Norfolk and worked there, you were working in Denver, Colorado, right?
That's correct. Yeah, I was worked out there for the city for about 11 years, and previous to that for a private tree company, climbing and running bucket trucks, but all aspects of arboriculture, plant health care with the private companies and with the city, and getting my understanding where urban forestry and arboriculture, tree care overlap.
Well, tell me about your job. What is it your position and your area does there in the city of Norfolk? Because I guess you just oversee the trees. What is it you all do?
So I work for the Department of Parks and Recreation with the city, and we have a group within our Parks and Recreation, the park side, that takes care of all parks and forestry operations. And on the forestry side of things, we're taking care of all trees on city property, which includes street trees. Trees in parks, trees in vacant lots, trees around City Hall, trees out at Ocean View Beach Park. So all over the city from Willoughby Spit to Newtown Road, we're taking care of those trees, but also get to promote the planting of trees within the city through tree giveaways, all aspects of our urban forestry program, and educating citizens on the benefits of a high tree canopy and good urban forest care.
Something tells me you're really busy. I mean, when you talk about the trees, because city of Norfolk might not be the biggest city in our area, but when you're talking about these trees and along the streetways, everything that goes into keeping them alive and adjusted and root prune, you name it, you guys are always finding something to do, right?
Absolutely. We have about 150,000 inventoried trees in our inventory. Tree inventory, so we're constantly updating those, adding work orders to that inventory, and kind of managing that system, and then replacing as we remove trees around town, trying to get as many trees back in to reduce the heat island effect around our city, all the pavement we have, and to create sustainable environmental conditions and make Norfolk a great place to live.
You mentioned replacing the trees. I know that's one of the things that you guys enjoy most is putting new trees in wherever you need them. But is it more of a replacing trees now, or is it adding trees? Because I don't know if there's as much space to add. I mean, how are you guys doing in that department?
Yeah, well, the urban or suburban scape is constantly changing. So we are replacing trees, and we're adding in more new green space may be developed at times. There's the flood down near Harbor Park may be a good example. There's flood wall going in, so there'll be different green spaces, not right on the flood wall we're going to be planting, but there's new opportunities that constantly shape up in an urban environment, and Norfolk is no exception to trying to find places to get that green space in for people and making sure we have that green infrastructure that makes Norfolk a great city by the coast to live in.
We hear a lot when it comes to a city like Norfolk and cities in general, the heat dome effect, that there's so much heat being bouncing off the concrete, all the whatever it is. Talk about how important trees are in an urban environment and what they do to mitigate that heat.
So trees and the urban forests do a myriad of things for the city. They alleviate the stormwater that goes down the streets and into our sewer system, this overflow that causes flooding in the streets. They also capture carbon, of course. They mitigate particulate matter that's blowing around, dust, and so forth. And then, of course, they cool. They're going to cool that streetscape, and they're actually going to make the concrete or asphalt and the hardscape materials that are under them last longer by reflecting solar radiation from them. So it's a myriad effects. The health is the big one we're trying to push right now for the community. Asthma rates are lower in neighborhoods that have higher tree canopy. Also, more people want to go out and spend money if they're walking down the street that's shade cover. They want to stay, they want to linger longer and shop. So it's great for the environment, health, and mental health for our kids. So we want to have those around schools. We want to help with all the studies of nature to calmness and mindfulness within children and adults. Is key.
Your department takes care of. You mentioned schools, parks, all that's involved in the city of Norfolk. And since Norfolk is an established city, so many of these already have established trees in place. So that some of the schools have been around forever. If you just look at Granby or some of the middle schools that have been there forever, maybe some of the elementary schools. How important is it to add to those? Or if you're in a home and you don't have trees, why is it so important to just pop in a big red oak and hopefully one day it'll cover your house with shade?
Yeah, so when we plant new trees, it's integral to property value. It can help your residential property value go up. But it's key to get that right tree in the right place, whether it's in your home or it's at a school or your business, making sure you get your utility locates done ahead of time. You plant it in that spot where it's going to survive for the longest amount of time, and it's going to give that value to your home and to your streetscape. But it's never too late, and the right time is yesterday to plant a tree.
I love that. Yesterday, and especially this time of year in the wintertime, boy, and everything is it's dormant. Boom, put it in the ground. Next thing you know, that thing's going to take off. Okay, so look, we're going to take a short little break here on Life Outdoors, and we're going to talk more specific about specific trees and what you'll see, and maybe how you can pick the right tree for your home. Stick around, everyone. You're watching Life Outdoors.
Visit Ocracoke and step into a world where every moment feels like a getaway. Savor fresh seafood straight from the sea, stroll along sun-kissed beaches, and let the gentle breeze carry your cares away. Paddle calm waters, explore hidden trails, and discover the unique stories that make this island unforgettable. Explore a village where the pace is gentle, and every corner holds a story. Whether it's a beach campfire or a quiet walk, Ocracoke offers moments that linger long after you leave. Slow down, you're here. Plan your escape at visitocracokenc.com.
Welcome back to Life Outdoors. I'm your host, Chris Reckling. Today we're talking to Stephen Traylor, Norfolk City forester. If you know, he is a man who knows his trees. Are you a maple or oak guy? What are you?
I am more of an oak guy.
An oak guy.
Yeah,
White oak or red oak?
I got to go with
Live
the
oak.
I got to go with white oak. But close second is the live oak.
Let's just start right there and talk about the amazing live oak, and especially in the city of Norfolk, because there should never be a reason to cut down a live oak. I guess if it's diseased, I guess if it's in a public domain or whatever it is. Talk about your thoughts on the live oak and how you guys do your best to try to preserve those trees.
So yeah, I agree. Live oak is one of my favorite trees, and we try to preserve them for as long as possible. One of the great things about Norfolk is we're right at the northern end of the live oak Quercus virginiana range. So we're they can grow up a little bit farther in the Middlesex, and you can grow them. They can be planted even maybe into the Delmarva Peninsula a little bit. But Norfolk is kind of one of the last cities where on the northern end, where they really thrive and grow well. Of course, there's the Angel Oak down in Georgia, and there's some other ones. But Hampton Roads, of course, we have the Emancipation Oak over at Hampton University, which is a beautiful specimen. If you haven't seen that tree, stop, bring your family, take a minute, take it in. And then, of course, on Naval Station Norfolk here, we have the Willoughby Oak, which is the tale they tell on that one is that Edward Teach, the Blackbeard, climbed it to look out into the Hampton Roads to check for the Queen's Navy sailing up and down looking for him, hunting him down. So live oaks, all trees are a part of our life and a part of our history and how we measure time as humans. So it's a live oak, if you have them, or if you don't have them yet, get one. Come on out or try to track one down and plant one. Make sure you have enough space for it to grow, but there's even some other upright cultivars that require a little bit less space.
Right.
And oaks in general, white, red, live oak are great for the environment, and they're builder species for all other forms of life, bird life, and butterfly life, and all kinds of insect life here.
So you mentioned planting live oak. It prefers sandy soil.
It does a lot.
Do you find that the city of Norfolk is predominantly sandy soil, or what are you dealing with in the city of Norfolk? Is it all over the map? What is it?
It's all over the map, literally. Yeah, it's.
You got some clay, you got some concrete, you got a little everything.
We got it all for trees. Yeah, it's a one-stop shop. So we got a lot of filled land within the city, lowlands that have been filled. We get clay, we get sand up on the ocean view side, where it may be hard to grow certain trees in medians or sandy spots. So we try to adapt the tree in the right tree in the right place when we're planting out into those areas. But yeah, love the live oak. Love the maples too. They always have their place, and I love the orange and yellow fall color that we get from all of our maples here in Norfolk.
Yeah, another tree that's very popular in the city of Norfolk are the crepe myrtles, and they're everywhere. Are you guys planting crepe myrtles?
Yeah, so we do. We do still plant a small amount of crepe myrtles on request. The crepe myrtle tree is kind of loved and hated by many, and it was. It's a very tough tree. I kind of always joke and say it's the apocalypse tree. It'll be there kind of like the cockroach after, but it's tough to kill, and it does really well in a streetscape. So it has its place. As we balance native species or native-ish species with introduced species that are non-invasive, of course, when we plant them in our streetscape. So yeah, in the 1920s, 30s, of course, Fred Hewitt, the original founder of the Norfolk Botanic Gardens, the first director, and actually former employee of Parks and Recreation for the city of Norfolk, kind of started up our program and found that the crepe myrtle, did really well here in the streetscape. And when the original inventory was done of street tree inventories, of our street tree inventory back in the late 90s, it was found that we inventoried about 80,000 street trees, and 39,000 of those were crepe myrtles. So as 39,000, so almost half. So that's what we try to shy away from now, because
we've got plenty of them.
Yeah, and diversity-wise and pest-wise, we don't want to have more than half, because if there was a pest that came through, it'd wipe out our urban forest cover, right? So we try to be more balanced now and look for other species that may meet those same criteria when we can.
Does your department trim back the crepe myrtles?
We do prune them back. Yeah, we'll prune them back using proper ISA standards. So we never top out live oaks in the streetscape. They may have to be pruned back by Dominion Energy subcontractor who we permit, but we try to clear them off the streets and get the sprouts and the suckering sprouts, which is a problem for those trees off the base, as much as we can on a request and on a systemic basis, actually right now during the winter. So they're a tough tree and they have their place, but we take care of them as much as we can.
I've noticed more and more bald cypress being planted. Is it because they're fast growers or what?
Bald cypress are a great street tree, actually. They do really well in poor soils. So a lot of times in a city or suburban or developed property environment, if you have a large enough space, a large enough soil volume for the tree to grow, the box, where it may be, bald cypress is a good choice because it's tough and it survives the anaerobic conditions that may sometimes be seen that you have in a swamp, kind of mimic what you may see in a median where a tree's put in there. So we do have it planted around town in streetscapes and in parks. If you ever go to downtown Houston, it's full of bald cypress, like right underneath the skyscrapers. Is
Really?
just a point of note. And it's a little bit more Gulf Coast, and the climate's different down there slightly, but wide range. We love the bald cypress, and it definitely has a place within our urban forest here in Norfolk.
It's a beautiful tree, deciduous. It's just when it comes out in the springtime, it's just like just blazing lime green. It's just so pretty.
Yeah, if you see a tree that has brown needles in the fall,
It ain't dead.
it's not dead.
Ain't dead.
There's a good chance it's a bald cypress. It's a great tree, a great choice for your home also if you got the space.
What other popular trees are you planting when you guys are coming through? Do you do poplars at all, or
So
not?
we do some tulip poplars.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more of a Piedmont tree for
Yeah.
Virginia, but it has its place and it grows within Virginia pretty well. We do as an alternative right now for crepe myrtle. We do red buds many times.
Yeah.
A couple different red buds. We'll also do hop hornbeam is another small one that has kind of a beautiful fruit and a nice kind of simple tree form to it. So we have a multitude of trees we can grow here. That's another great thing about being back in Virginia and working for Norfolk is we're in Zone 9, and we can grow a lot of things here. And there's a multitude of species that'll work in Norfolk.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll take a short break. We'll continue the tree talk with Stephen Traylor, Norfolk City Forester. We'll talk about, he worked out in Denver, so we'll kind of the differences between the tree situation there and here and tell you how you can maybe take advantage of some free trees in the city of Norfolk. Stick around, everyone. You're watching Life Outdoors. Welcome back to Life Outdoors. I'm your host, Chris Ruckling. We're here with Stephen Traylor, certified arborist with the Norfolk City Forester. We're talking trees, and I love this conversation because who doesn't love a good tree, right? So we covered a bunch of trees that you will find here in the city of Norfolk, but you said you also worked out in Denver before here. There's a big difference between trees out west, trees up north, down south, whatever, and the city of Norfolk. What was one of the biggest differences you saw between trees there and trees here?
So as I kind of touched on earlier, we can grow such a wider range of trees here. The tree planting palette and what you can grow in Denver is a little bit more constrained. You're in a kind of a high desert, high plains environment where you only get about 13 inches of rain a year. Here, certain months we can get 13 inches. We get 40 plus inches of rain a year. So just a wider multitude of things that we can grow here. So really enjoy that about being back in Virginia. And
They grow quickly.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, you plant a tree here and you just, depending on the species, some might grow a couple feet a year or some, it just depends on what you grow and the conditions in the place you're planting it, right?
Absolutely.
Go ahead and give people some tips on their planting their trees.
So main tip is before you plant a tree, you want to get a utility locate done for your property and make sure that you're not digging into any power lines, gas lines, those types of things. For best results, do try to do a referral with a ISA certified arborist to find out what would be the best tree for your particular circumstance. You can also consult with the Virginia Cooperative Extension, your local office there, and find out what might be the best tree selection, height, And it all depends on your goals too: heights, widths, size of that tree, what you want. If you want fruit, nuts, you want it for shade, do you want it for flowers? So those are a couple of the big considerations you'll want to look into as you look to plant a tree on your property.
And common mistakes that people make is they don't give it room to grow. You know, they put it in the ground, and then when it's small, they think, oh, it looks good there. Next thing you know, it outgrows the spot, right? I mean, that's a mistake made all the time.
Yeah, it happens all the time. So right tree, right place. Trying not to plant under power lines.
Too close to the home.
Too close to the home, right over your sewer line. So those things do happen, but we want to get the best species in there for you at all times.
Yeah. Okay. And if you're wondering maybe how you can take advantage of the generosity of the city of Norfolk, twice a year you guys have a tree giveaway. That's pretty amazing. And you have one coming up at the end of the month, right?
Yes. So City of Norfolk partners with the Friends of Norfolk's Environment coming up here the last Saturday in January. We're going to have a fruit and nut tree giveaway at Lafayette Park. It's called Jam and Jams. You can check the City of Norfolk Department of Parks and Recreation Facebook page. You can also check Friends of Norfolk's Environment, FONE, for their webpage. And at that event, we give away a multitude of their bare root saplings that come, the majority of them. And there'll be everything from persimmon to pecan to raspberry vines, blueberry bushes, blackberry vines, and some other kind of unique and exotic stuff that comes in, loquat. So a lot of stuff that we've hunted down and found out that it can perform in our environment where you still even have cold winters. So some hardy subtropic plants that can make it here and give you some fruit that's a little bit different than normal. So
yeah.
we have that event at the last Saturday in January. And then the second Saturday in October, we have our annual Arbor Day event, which is at City Park, Lafayette Park also. And that's 10 to 2. And that's a little bit more wider variety of trees. So ornamental trees and shade trees, some fruit trees occasionally. But those are for Norfolk residents. But come on out and celebrate with us and learn more about trees at both those events.
So you mentioned earlier that the best time to plant a tree was yesterday, but it's really right now.
Absolutely.
Talk more about that, because you don't want to plant it in the middle of summer when it doesn't have enough water. Right now, why is now the perfect time?
Yeah, so now is the best time to plant a tree for root growth before it's having to put out foliage in the growing season. So winter from mid-October to about early March is the time you want to get that tree in the ground. You want to plant that tree slightly above grade. You want to dig that hole about 2 times the width of it. So you kind of crumble up that root zone, that soil for root expansion, and then you want to water the tree in the first year, and make sure you don't volcano mulch it either. So have your landscapers there, put mulch on it, but keep it away from the trunk. It'll essentially girdle the tree if you pile that mulch up too high. So he who plants a tree, thinks of others other than himself, is the old Chinese proverb goes. So get out, get your family out. Wintertime's a great time to do it. Come on by and grab a tree from us here at the end of January at the Jam and Jams event and plant a tree.
That's right. You don't plant your tree for you plant it for future generations, and do it in the memory of a family member or a friend. Give them away as gifts, whatever it is. Plant a tree, know that you're doing something good for the environment. I could sit here and talk trees all day long. Mm-hmm. I mean, who doesn't love trees, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, we have a couple here in studio. They're plastic, but that's okay. Not quite the same, but we love our trees just the same. So listen, real quickly, you mentioned the volcano action. Mm-hmm. When mulch sits on the base of a tree, it still keeps the bulk moist, and insects will attack, and next thing you know, that tree might die. So
yeah, it'll promote moisture to be trapped up around the tree. So once again, consult with the ISA certified arborist if you think you moved into a new property and you're like, what is volcano mulching? It basically, if your tree looks like a telephone pole and you see no what we call root taper or trunk taper at the base of the tree,
Yeah.
think about how you would see a tree in the woods.
Yeah.
You're going to see that taper come out in the forest. So you want to see that trunk zone and plant it slightly above, water, and then trees do everything else for us,
Yeah.
and they give a lot back to us every day. So get out there and plant a tree this winter in Hampton Roads.
Right. Better to plant too high than too low.
Slightly high is always better than too low,
Yeah, those roots.
because roots can get smothered, or you can, depending on drainage for your particular site.
Swamped.
Yeah, you want it slightly higher. So, yeah.
So, Stephen, thank you so much for joining us here on Life Outdoors. I've enjoyed our conversation. It was really fun.
Yeah.
And thank you for keeping Norfolk beautiful. Because Norfolk is a beautiful city, and it takes a lot of effort and work. And it's not just you, but it's your whole crew there with Parks and Rec.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to thank the Parks and Recreation team and all the city employees who helped to make the city greener.
All right. Stephen Traylor, Norfolk City Forester, thank you for joining us here on Life Outdoors. Once again, Life Outdoors is sponsored by Ocracoke Tourism Development Authority, Ocracoke, miles from the mainstream. Hope you enjoyed this edition. We'll see you next time on Life Outdoors.